Hi, everyone, and thanks for being part of our season premiere. Ahead on the show, how the NBA and its Players Association have stepped up mental health services since a pair of All-Stars admitted their struggles. And a new way to buy your favorite kicks that could change online commerce. But first, a survivor's story. It's estimated that this year alone in the United States, there have been more than 300 mass shootings, defined as a single incident in which 4 or more people are shot. One of those victims is a player in the NBA's 2K League who miraculously escaped with his life and, despite a wound that nearly cost him his thumb, is on schedule to compete again this season. A word of caution, some of what you'll see and hear about his experience is disturbing and inappropriate for kids.
Jacksonville, 911, what is the location of your emergency?
Yes, Gunther. GLHF Game Bar in Jacksonville at the landing. There's gunshots. Hurry.
You know, everyone just tells me that I'm lucky. There's no real explanation.
Tim Anselimo began the worst day of his life doing what he loves best. August 26th was day 2 of a Madden 19 tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, a few hours from his family's Tampa home. Tim was new to Madden events, but well-established as a gamer.
A big-time jam by Larry.
As a Knicks fan and high school player growing up in Queens, Tim gravitated toward NBA games. So it was his alter ego, oLarry, for Larry Bird, was born.
He had a regular job, and he was like, "Mom, I'm going to play a video game and make money. There's tournaments and cash prizes." And he would come home and win.
2014, I just started playing some tournaments online for small cash prizes and things like that, and I realized that, I have a good chance at this. I'm beating a lot of people, so I felt like I was pretty good and confident.
The Bucks agreed and drafted him for the NBA 2K League's inaugural season. oLarry was the team's second leading scorer and rebounder. But that life, any life, nearly ended at a pizza place and game bar where the Madden event was held. A live stream captured the first shots.
Got a lot of good games going on.
It's a lot. It's going to be hard to get them on stream. It's a lot.
It's not a tough out today. Excuse me, not an easy out. Oh.
The noise was a little bit off, and I kind of, just like, what's that? But after the second or third one, it was just like, okay, this is happening.
As players focused on the tournament, a 24-year-old contestant with a history of mental illness pulled out a 9mm handgun with a laser sight and began shooting at gamers.
The room is not very big. It's a narrow space, so it's just you don't know where to go. You don't know what's safe and what isn't. You don't know where things are coming from because you're panicking. So it's just a lot in the moment to handle.
Tim's friend and Madden pro Steven Jaworski was only a few feet from Tim when the room erupted.
It was just complete and utter chaos. I had never seen people move in the manner that they did. It was just fight or flight, like survival mode at that point. Yeah, there was screaming, the gunshots, yelling, just, it was a pretty awful scene.
Hello. Shots fired, GLHF Game Bar. Sure. Please, hurry.
I got officer on the way. What's your last name?
Steven Jaworski.
Steven made a 911 call from a nearby bathroom where he and others ran to hide. Tim, standing nearer the shooter, couldn't get away.
I'm not sure if when we made eye contact, I'm not sure if it was the second shot or the first. I know the third was the last as I was running out the back exit. Your light's flashing, you're kind of just panicking. Sometimes you don't even notice.
You made eye contact with the shooter. What did you see? I
just saw like his eyes, and it just almost looked like he was possessed, like almost like a demon. And I looked at him, and that's when he shot me in the chest. And after that, I just, like my body kind of took a jerk backwards off of impact, and a pathway cleared to the back exit. I just made a run for it, and that's when he also shot me again on my left hip.
Tim was shot 3 times, in the chest, through the hip, and through the right hand. Somehow, he never fell to the floor. Bleeding badly, he scrambled out of the pizza place and into another restaurant where an employee applied pressure to his wounds and may have saved his life.
When he was helping me out, I told him I was real dehydrated. I couldn't really breathe. My mouth was really dry, parched, and I just told him, I said, everything's getting, just spinning, everything's making me dizzy. I'm losing color, everything's getting dark, everything's blurry. I honestly just told him, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Tim's mother, Sue, had the same fear during a frantic 200-mile drive to Jacksonville. Tim's half-brother, Travis, had been watching the tournament at home when the shooting began. When he reached Tim by phone, Tim asked him to relay a message for his mother.
He told his brother to call me and tell me that he was shot. He told his brother to tell me that he was bleeding really bad and that he didn't think he was going to make it. When I got into the room where he was in, I just hugged him and I cried and cried holding him. I just cried. You know, he still had blood in his ears, on his face, in his neck, on his eyes. And no mother wants to see their son like that.
In a matter of moments, the shooter had wounded 9 and killed 2 before ending his own life. Tim had been standing between the gamers killed, Elijah Clayton and Taylor Robertson, when the shooting began.
Those were just two genuine people. They would always look to help. They would always give advice, you know, for a newcomer like me coming into that game from NBA 2K. So they're going to be remembered forever as the great guys that they were.
Show me what you have to be able to do on that.
Once he knew he had survived, Tim's focus turned to his thumb, where a bullet ripped through ligament and bone.
Gunshot wound here, obliterated this bone, then to this finger as well. This joint will not exist anymore. This joint is pretty darn stuck because of the tight flexor tendon. He's lucky he has his thumb.
Just from the beginning, I just asked the doctor after x-rays and things, I just told him, just be real with me, like, am I ever going to be able to play again?
Thanks to a pair of surgeries, the answer is yes. Doctors reconstructed the thumb with cadaver bone, a metal plate, and pins. The middle joint is permanently disabled, but with therapy, Tim is regaining sensation and dexterity.
Yesterday was the first time I, buttoned a pair of jeans on my own since
That's
before.
a big deal.
The bigger goal is returning to an elite level at 2K. Opponents already tell him they barely notice a difference in his skills, which he'll need this season. Bucks Gaming chose not to pick up his contract, but a month after the shooting, and despite his uncertain prognosis, Cavs Legion Gaming acquired him.
I think that his persona, his story, his kind of gritty attitude and above all odds is really fitting for Cleveland.
Larry with the flush. You tried stopping a freight train, Scott. It ain't gonna go too well for you.
What kind of a player is he?
He's one of the most versatile players I've seen in the league by far. I've seen him play 5 positions at an elite caliber. His center play defensively and his ability to just create scoring out of situations which you shouldn't be scoring in was kind of remarkable.
I'm definitely looking forward to see how good I get, in January or February when therapy's been 2 or 3 months in.
Tim will feel the impact of those 3 bullets, one of which remains lodged in his back, the rest of his life. Fortunate to be alive, he now has a second chance to star in his virtual world. But for mass shooting survivors, the real one is never the same.
Honestly, still don't believe it. It kind of feels like your innocence was taken away from you in a sense. Like there was this protective bubble around me before, and now it's gone.
Now, everywhere you go, whether it's to dinner with your family or the mall or grocery shopping, you just gotta look over your shoulder all the time, and it's just a terrible feeling to have to deal with going forward. There's obviously times where you're just upset that these type of things happen to you, but just knowing that I made it out for a reason, there's a bigger purpose for me, whether it's to be an inspiration to kids that want to do this, or to people with disabilities, hand injuries, just things like that. And just to, just keep fighting through it and to continue my career and doing what I love.
Tim and his family have hired a lawyer who says he plans to file a lawsuit against the gaming venue and other organizers of the event, claiming negligence. Tim remains on track to debut with his new team when the NBA 2K League's second season begins in March.